PlayStation mode. Dreams of fortune turning cold. Now he's out in the cold. Business plans were all a mess. Thought he'd take down the best. Now he's stuck in his own jest. PlayStation's past his test. Mac Booty's dream gone bust. PlayStation outlasts the rust. He tried to kill the trust. Now his empire's turned to dust. Once a king on a throne so high, now he's watching the time tick by. No more dreams to touch the sky. He's left with just a sigh. The market games he played so rough, found out the real stuff was tough. Now those days seem so far off. Old dreams turn into a bluff. Mac Booty's dream gone bust. PlayStation outlasts the rust. He tried to kill the trust. Now his empire's turned to dust, to dust. Mac Booty's dream gone bust. PlayStation outlasts the rust. He tried to kill the trust. Now his empire's turned to dust. Yeah. Phil Spencer leads the charge every day with Xbox ninja moves meant to slay. Two guys, one tooth, but they never give in. Always falling down, but rise with a grin. Always failing, but maybe this time gonna break free from the uphill climb. Adventure waiting just around the bend. We'll keep on trying till the very end.
Whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
It's turbo time.
They've got dreams held up by duct tape, hearts of steel in digital escape. Battles fought with gamepads in hand. Gaming warriors taking a stand. Always failing, but maybe this time gonna break free from the uphill climb. Adventure waiting just around the bend. We'll keep on trying till the very end. Pixelated hopes in every quest. Loading screens put us to the test. Laughter echoes with every fall. No mountain too high, no wall too tall.
What you didn't like?
Pixelated hopes in every quest. Loading screens put us to the test. Laughter echoes with every fall. No mountain too high, no wall too tall. Always failing, but maybe this time gonna break free from the uphill till the very end.
Stop! Enough!
Pixelated hopes in every quest. Loading screens put us to the test. Laughter echoes with every fall. No mountain too high, no wall too tall. Gaming. Always failing, but maybe this time gonna break free from the uphill climb. Adventure waiting just around the bend. We'll keep on trying till the very end.
Yo, what's up, grinders? Hit that like button. Hot duh is coming your way. How's everybody doing out there? Yes, it is a Saturday, and yes, the Grindhouse is open. I do weekends. So how's everybody doing? I promised a part 2. Things got ahead of me, man. Yesterday, I wanted to get out there part 2, but I just could not have the time to do it and to make sure we got the rest of the videos that I had lined up for it. The first show was great. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I went back, listened to some of the stuff, man. It was funny, man. I make myself laugh on those things. But we are going to do part 2 because I have a bunch more videos that I wanted. Like, we didn't dive into some of the PHILNESS. We got a lot of the bootiness out of the way, but we had some more PHILNESS, especially the video that I was ending on. Wanted to do more of it because there's just, again, it's interesting to go back and listen to what was said leading up to what we know now. I think that is something that I really wanted to, show in this video and the previous video. It's just how, when we heard those things, a lot of us were skeptical of everything. Like, we're like, yo, what's going on? And you hear everybody just try to pacify the situation. Like, oh, no, it's fine. You're out of your league. Like, what are you worried about? Don't worry about it. They're fine. They're fine. And it's like, now when they're not fine, everybody wants to be like, yeah, I knew they weren't fine. It's like, no, man, nah. You weren't there when they were saying this stuff. And oh, they didn't show gameplay. They talk about it too much. They don't show the actual game. No hands-on, no screenshots captured. They're showing an engine, and we haven't heard from them. And so, well, no, they're fine. They're fine. Game Pass. It's like, no, man, nah. And that ain't gonna fly anymore. Because now they're really, they led people along this roller coaster of a ride. So, everybody, we're gonna hit that like button. Let me do my shout outs. And here we definitely have the goal. We're gonna be hitting the rest of that song, the full version of Falling Upward. Dude, you heard a little bit of it on the previous show. We did do that. Shout out to AK Do Sensible, and he was funding that one. He wanted to hear that song, so I gave him some of it. The full song, you're getting that one, and a bonus track by request. People wanted a booty song, new exclusive booty song based off the previous show. Booty. I'll give you the title of the song that I made, just to kind of give you that little thing. It's called Booty's Break Room Blues, but it's a rap song, so. It's not super slow, but it is funny. It is it is funny. So if you want to hear that, there's your goals, grinders. You got a double header today, double weekend header. So, and also too, I like that I was able to go earlier today, trying to go early, get some of our folks from around the globe, because Gaming Grindhouse is global. So definitely shout out to everybody around the globe. Hit that like button. for whatever time it is, and let them know that the Grindhouse is open, because we're gonna be get your pans out, because we're gonna continue cooking. We're cooking on the weekends, man. So let's go back. Let's do shout out. Lady Gamer in the house. How you doing? Veja, Jenna Hayes in the house. Chris Duran, Ben. Yo. Ben says, are we talking about how amazing DK Bonanza is, or we're bringing up Nintendo only when something negative say? Dude, listen, I got DK Bonanza, and it is really cool. I like it. Like, it is good, but definitely I'm playing it like docked. I have not played it handheld yet, but I love just destroying stuff, man. It was kind of the Hulk smash game, and I'll talk more about it on the Gaming Grindhouse, but it's definitely like the Hulk destruction game that I've always wanted. So it's definitely doing its thing. I like the charm of it. It's really cool. My favorite character is Donkey Kong, nonetheless. But but the frame rate does dip. Like it is pretty crazy. The frame rate, like, it does slow down sometimes when you're breaking things apart. But otherwise, it's really a fun game. Like, they really have really interesting aspects to it. But I'll give more impressions on it on there. I only played it for the last 2 days, and I went bananas. We need Ron has to talk about it.
Hey, Ron, where are you?
But I'm gonna play more of it over the weekend. Death Stranding 2 been playing, and we'll be cooking. So I got some impressions there as well. Michael Meridian, how you doing? Please disperse. Nothing to see here. Yeah, the frame rate does. Yeah, it looks like a slow-mo, but it does do a kind of frame rate. Yeah, the frame rate is a little rough. It's not like where it slows down, but you definitely see, you don't know if it's a hit or if it kind of slows down from a frame. I'll talk more about it there. We got to get to the videos here, so we'll get into it. I know. Yeah, but we're playing on a handheld, it is what it is. Yeah. It has the polish, but just like the Nintendo, the graphics and stuff like that, it looks pretty too. Like, it looks good. The HDR really pops. I'm also playing on OLED, dude. But no, it does happen. So just letting people know about it. Nothing that it's like, oh my god, I can't play. Like, slow down, I mean, but more of just like, whoa, what was that? Oh,
okay,
and then it goes away. But anyway, Sergey, what's up? Veja, Brigadier, William. In the house, El Nini's here, Lunchi is here. Lunchi, I got some of your ex tweets there. I'm going to be talking about, and then we got, who else we got in here? Billy Akura, Outside Gaming Night Now, Diablo Dark Matter, Wild Wolf, Albert, Buck Rogers, and Veja, and we're ready to go here. He must be playing with bananas. I don't know, Chris Duran. He must be playing with those bananas. We don't know, but just to do part 2 of this. So we ended. Part 1, a majority of part 1 was just the state of PHILNESS and Booty. The question is how these two are still at Xbox and Microsoft after they laid off 9,000 people, shut down studios, canceled games, and games that either were not even ready to come out. They have had shut down games that were successful, and the studio shut down, so they can't do sequels. Like, it's really been a bloodbath over there ever since they acquired ABK. And it's been rough. And they are just constantly pivoting. We just found out a couple of days ago that they let go of about 200 people or so from King Mobile, from Candy Crush, and they're going to replace them. I don't know if they were going to replace them with AI. So they laid off a bunch of people from there to do AI tasks, and it seems like this is the position that they're trying to do. They're trying to use AI and all this stuff, and they want more people to use it. And we lost Everwild. We lost the game from the one that bothered me is Perfect Dark. That's what's been kind of lingering on. And I even went back and watched some videos. I may share them today about like when the studio was announced Perfect Dark and how ridiculous that's not happening at all. And after they showed gameplay, it's just crazy. After all these years, and they showed gameplay, and then they cancel it. It is really, really horrible that Perfect Dark is done. And it makes you think, what happens to Rare? Like, Everwild is done, and Rare now has been resorted. They got gutted too, and now they're resorted to making CFDs updates. That's it. It's almost like what Rare was when they turned from the 360, when they were just doing avatars and not making games. They're like, yeah, you do work on the avatars because we want to copy the me. the Mii's on Nintendo. So we're going to do avatars, and you are going to work on the hats, the jackets, all the different themes of avatars. And that's basically what Rare did. And yeah, it really is. It really is a shame. And then the other game that there was, that online game that they were supposed to be made, the next big game from ZeniMax, and that one, Blackheart, or Black Raven, or Blackheart, that one nixed as well. So they really did a big hit this last couple of weeks. And so going back and listen to the mismanagement and how the vagueness was still there, it's pretty crazy how you could see that they didn't know what the hell they're doing. They still don't know what they're doing. And they're all over the place right now. But going back to that infamous interview where Phil Spencer's like, if you just make great games, people built their digital libraries and all this other stuff. I thought the end part was definitely something I wanted to come back and we talk to the PHILNESS. So Phil Spencer, let's hear you. 2 years ago, I'll try to keep with the timelines here. We're going to be all over here. But let's get back and continue to that video, grinders. Hit that like button. Share it out. We're going to cook. We got the videos. You can see them up top. Let's do the quick questions of Phil Spencer. And knowing, and again, the main thing that I want to relay to the Grindhouse is knowing what we know now. What has happened? Hear this. And it's like a different, it's like, oh my God, it's like an M. Night Shyamalan reveal. It's like, holy crap, it's like a twist. It's a twist. It says.
It's part of getting to success are those learnings in that diagnosis. There's a bunch of
and that's all he says too, is learning.
other stuff I could go into, but then we end up with kind of dev doc, which I'm happy to do, but that
hit him up with the question right here.
Well, Phil, we don't have much time with you, so I'm going to go around the table, give everybody one final question for Phil. I'm going to rattle off a couple quick ones with you, Phil. Of course, we talk about 60 frames, 30 frames. Should Xbox players expect a clear message this summer with Starfield with 30 and 60 frames? That's a big lesson learned, as you brought up. Should we expect that answer? It's clear as day?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great one. Another one, you see a lot of conversation, of course. I want to praise you and the team for really elevating the PC side of this Xbox ecosystem. I think we've seen a lot of great strides in that. But when you see the community talk about the console side of things, do you think you've lost the focus or maybe put too much onto the PC side? Do you think that the console is still getting the console love that it deserves, whether it be the homepage update, achievements, of course, looking forward and using the power of this next gen? Do you think you guys have lost that focus, or is it still there, and can we see more love on that side?
He's thinking. He's learning.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd have to go back and look at the...
First off, if you listen, the guy gave him the answers. All right? He gave him the answers. And what I think is pretty ridiculous is that they are, a homepage update. That's support for the console? That? Really? Nobody dares ask for like some sort of special mode or something like that, or any kind of timed or anything for the console. But it's like, oh, will we get some home screen updates? That's the love that they're looking for. No, man. Because what's crazy is that they did PC exclusives with their console sitting there. They did Gears Tactics. They did Flight Simulator. You hear about Flight Simulator now. Flight Simulator was over a year exclusive before it even touched the console. The last console exclusive game was Crossfire X. That was the last console game. Look at Phil's eyes and face. And watch how angry he gets with this question.
But we'll definitely continue to focus on making our console experience as great as it can be. I like the homepage refresh and some stuff. I will say this might be disruptive.
Whoa. Do you see that? You see the hand waving? Yeah, like the console thing. And then he goes and just kind of poo-poos that console. And now he gives you the heart to heart of actually where they want to go. So just remember when Sarah Bond is like, PC is our future. Phil Spencer pulls the hand out his ass. Just remember, it was all here. And nobody wants, like, oh, no, he's just angry. Phil was just upset about Redfall. That's why he was just upset. Remember? Oh, he just give him an excuse. He was just upset. No, Crossfire X. Not Crossfire. Crossfire X on Xbox. Not the VR Crossfire for PlayStation. No, Crossfire X, the campaign that Remedy worked on. Oh, that one. That was the last Xbox console exclusive. From Smilegate. You know them. But we know them from their VR game. But man, they messed up on the Xbox version. But anyway, back to PHILNESS. Here he has to say.
I will say this might be continue to focus on making our console experience as great as it can be. I like the homepage refresh and some stuff. I will say this might be disruptive as well. We have a different vision. You know, Paris talked about this. It's play the games you want with the people you want anywhere you want. We want Xbox to be something that people who buy our console can feel like they're a member of. Obviously, who are playing on PC, who are playing on cloud, that they feel like they're full members of our ecosystem. Game Pass players can play on many different devices, and we remain fully committed to that. We're not in the business of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us. And I know that will upset a ton of people, but it's just the truth of the matter is that
there is no win for us. Phil Spencer, there's no win for you. He told you right there.
For 6 years, I taught you how to go for the W. You could have been one of the greats. And now look at yourself. You're not even a has-been. You're a never was.
There you go. It is done. Like, he is like, yeah, we are not doing it. There is no win for us. This is red. Like, just think, he is the head of Microsoft Gaming of Xbox. And this is how he speaks about the brand. And now sit here 3 years later. This was right when Redfall released. So we're talking about 3 years later. And this is also after the dire desert of 2022, where they had Pentiment. That was it. Pentiment and Psychonauts 2. And nothing for 2022. And then the year before, when they had Halo, which their 2021 was Halo when it should have been their 2020. And how many interviews, how accessible he's been. This is how he talked about the brand. This was the beginning of the end of the brand. And to think now, 3 years later, that Xbox next to his head, that symbol means anything. And it means enough to be slapped on other people's hardware so they feel, quote, part of the community. Dude, you got to get the community out your ass. Because it's not about the community, it's about the games. And that's the thing in your new future you are not talking about, because the games do not play across the devices as they should. You got a sample of games, and it gets very muddy as to what games work on the Windows PC Xbox and what works on the console Xbox. So just because you put a sticker on it, it reminds me, oh, I got to get it. I had it on my grinds board. I have to get it. Now I got, now, you know what, grinders? You know what? This is what it reminds me of right now. This is the Xbox stamp, the tramp stamp on everything, right? Where is it? I got it over here. What was it? Yes, that guarantee. Yes. There you go. Here it is. This is Phil Spencer shopping around, trying to get his brand on everything. Here he goes. Get him, Phil.
I like your price.
On the box. It should always be on the box, comforting you, calling out, I'm good. I'll never let you down. But if I do, I'm going to make things all better. My customers need to see that little label looking them right.
You want to talk about guarantees, then... Fellas, you just ran out of time.
Chicken wings.
Ted, why would so...
Go on, I'm listening.
Here's the way I see it, Ted. Guy puts a fancy guarantee in a box because he wants you to feel all warm and toasty inside.
Yeah, makes a man feel good.
Of course it does. Why shouldn't it? You figure you put that little box under your pillow at night, the guarantee fairy might come by and leave a quarter. Am I right, Ted?
What's your point?
The point is, how do you know the fairy isn't a crazy glue sniffer? Building model airplanes.
Put that guarantee on the box, Phil. Put that sticker on the...
Sneaks into your house
Put
once,
it...
that's all it takes. Next thing you know, there's money missing off the dresser and your daughter's knocked
Get
out.
it, Phil.
I've seen it 100
Put that
times.
tramp
But
stamp
why
on
do
the
they put a
box. Make them feel
guarantee on the box,
good.
then? Because they know all they sold you was a guaranteed piece of shit. That's all it is, isn't it? Hey, if you want me to take a dump in a box and mark it guaranteed, I will. I got spare time.
There he is. That's Phil putting his tramp stamp on everything. There it is. He's like, guys, I'll make you feel good inside. I'm gonna put the Xbox logo on a different device to make the community feel good, feel accepting. Don't you realize that's the strategy that they're doing? By calling everything an Xbox was the first glaze. The second part of the glaze is to put the Xbox logo on devices. So this community that he's trying to feel and live off of feels good about themselves, feels accepting, like, oh, I don't feel dirty playing on some sort of handheld PC, but it has an Xbox brand on it, so I'm still part of that community. Because that's something that you can constantly hear, the feedback, the community. I will listen to the PHILNESS. But he's so obsessed with himself and his touch with the community that is now his goal. It's not, we talked about you don't buy a device, you buy the games. He's like, you buy the community. You buy into the community of the glazing, the Xbox glaze. And here come our key glazes, Mr. Yellow Chair, Colt, here they come. The key glazes. This is the one. Welcome. They will groom you and fix you into this Xbox community. This is who they are. Come welcome to the Xbox community. Here are our prime glazes. They will glaze you into next generation. Phil is the Auto King and Tommy Boy is Snake Oil. That's right, Big Razzo. You know? And that's basically what it is. It's like, just get into our community and we have our ambassadors and our king, our glazes that will now put you part of the community. And they'll tell you, they'll protect you from the reality of low quality games over 30 frames on console. It's okay. It's okay. It's our designer choice. Is it? Because you just added 60 frames to Helldivers, to Hellblade 2. You just added 60 frames now to Starfield. What happened to developers' vision? But the glazes will make sure that they take away the fearmongers and the community will protect you. That's what they've been living off of for the last decade, is this man leading a community of glazes. That's it. And that's all they are. Because you look at this, he said this 3 years ago. What does that brand mean anymore? It doesn't mean anything. But to Phil, it's trying to grasp onto this community. That's what it is. And you know what? Yeah, we'll let somebody else say it. Here you go.
With freaking Redfall, where a lot of people were like, I don't know, man. It seems weird to have this studio doing a live service game. What are we doing? Looks really crappy. And then you get a couple of Xbox YouTubers who are like, this has the potential to be the best game Microsoft has ever made, and potentially a Game of the Year contender, especially when you consider what the Studio Arcane has done before. And it's like everybody is laughing their asses off that somebody could suggest such a stupid thing. But like, those are the people that they keep giving access to, and they're like shocked when people don't believe them, you know? Like, what do you mean you didn't believe the fanboy? Like, what did you mean? We thought you would be super convinced. It's like, no, like, everybody else has eyes and can see that this looks like ass. We're not just going to believe some guy on X that's saying it's game of the generation, you know, because that it's not.
Oh. Huh. And you see the thank you for the free copy. Thank you for the access. Thank you for sending me out to play Janky Jones. They're the ringleaders of this community that Phil has built. This is what he does. And they farm them the free games, they farm them the content, and they farm you the bullshit. So continue, Phil, about how you are trying to get out of this.
That when you're third place in the console marketplace and the top two players are as strong as they are and have, in certain cases, very, very discrete focus on doing deals and other things that will that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else.
Yo, man. He was getting roasted internally with Satya, and then he was getting roasted externally. He could not get a win anywhere.
Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform, but we are not.
How? When your own games, it's hard being Xbox, right? It's like hard being green. There you go, Ryan Lennon's. Goddamn, where's Oscar the Grouch? It's tough being green. What is this? Or who sang Oscar the Grouch? But you hear what he says there. Knowing where we are now, hearing what he said back then. He was cut off, man. He was cut off. That's why they pushed so hard for Activision, because they knew the traditional thing of trying to get Redfall exclusive, get Starfield exclusive, use their acquisitions to leverage Xbox and make the console feel. What's hilarious is that Redfall was horrible on console. Starfield was 30 frames and super load screens on console. Then Hellblade 2 was 30 frames on console. How are they supposed to feel they got the most powerful console in the world with the Series X, and you do not give them performance modes in your own first-party games? How? Your Series X is more powerful than the PS5. How does the PS5 get performance modes? How does PS5 now get 60 frames in Hellblade 2? How? When you didn't do it for a year, you didn't even give them a 60 frames per second update 6 months later, 4 months later. You didn't do anything. You waited until they made the PlayStation 5 enhanced version, and then you said, oh, now we'll add 60 frames. How are you saying? You say right there, you want that console player, the one who, by the way, the one who buys the most and spends the most important player, right?
About console is it's your highest value gamer. It's your person who plays the most, they buy the most.
There. How do you give them the short end of the stick?
Everybody else. Our vision is that that when a citizen, they've invested for us as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else. Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform.
And that's another point. They invested a ton in the platform. Well, that's the whole problem that we're having here, where this handheld that he pulled out his ass is a Windows PC and doesn't take all of your investment with you to this device. And Sarah Bond saying the future of gaming is Windows. Well, how does that make the console player be a first-class citizen and know that their investment goes with them? And then on top of that, if they want to play games that have not made the PC, you are saying, well, you could stream the games you own, but for a price. You need to subscribe for Game Pass Ultimate currently for $20 a month until they come out with a streaming only service. But that's the way to get some of your games, not all three, maybe about 5 or 6 of them, over to the PC, the future of what they're saying. So, wait, you're putting that behind a subscription. I can't just stream the games I own on other devices because I own the game. I need to now subscribe and have access to the ones I own. Yes, that's how cloud subscriptions work. But the difference here is that Microsoft is going all in on PC gaming. And if that's their future, then where is that going to be the way to play on their future hardware? And it's crazy. It's like, oh, they're going to have some sort of dual boot. Dual boot. Well, Aaron, you say...
Hey, Aaron, where are you?
You say, look, Microsoft don't care about the console. What is he saying here, dude? Is this my word right here? Is this me? Is this me on the screen right here?
Other things that will
he don't care about the console.
make being Xbox hard.
Tell me
as
right
a
here.
Team that's on us, not on anybody
here,
else.
Right here, Aaron.
Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform.
He just said it right there. The console owner needs to feel like a first-class citizen because they have invested in their platform. So if you're saying now they don't care about the console, then that is an ultimate PHILNESS because he came on here and said, you got to feel like a first-class citizen. So don't you think they should let them know? He's saying it. Well, I'm not here fighting that they should do it. We're beyond that. They're committing to making that the console player is the most important player. But they're not focused on the console. They're not. And if, like what Moore's Law said in that video, where there's no dev kits for this ROG Ally X. It's a PC. And if their focus is on Xbox app on PC, and everybody's like, the next Xbox is going to run Steam. It's like, dude, do you know that you're digging your own grave? Because if the next Xbox runs Steam, it is going to be a PC. It is not going to be an Xbox, and a majority of your games will not be able to be played. You will lose your library of games that you've been buying. You'll just have to keep that hardware as a legacy hardware. And they have not been clear on this. That's the problem. Knowing they groomed the hell out of everybody, they have not been honest as to what the future is. And the fact that they could come out, he could come out here and do this. Does this make you feel like a first-class citizen, Xbox console owners?
Psychonauts 2 showed how Double 5 years of Xbox with a new Fable, the next Forza, Gears of War E-Day, and the return of a classic that's been with us since the beginning. Today, you've seen an incredible range of games from creators across the globe. Creators like In Exile, reaching for new heights with Clockwork Revolution. Sluggerfly, making Team Meat's modern classic platformer into 3D. Square Enix, bringing more of the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy franchise to our players. And Team Ninja, returning to the beloved series they debuted on Xbox. You've also seen the next Xbox hardware release, our Xbox Ally handheld, which lets you bring your Xbox experience and your library with you anywhere.
Huh? And we covered in the last video. What did he say? I don't like talking. Wait, what did he say? I don't like talking about things that don't deliver. And now we step on our feet, right? Remember that? Remember, just to kind of read here.
Games. That's my commitment to the
Showcase. You had to that.
And you might try to get me on positive. I'm not in positive mode this week, so I'll apologize for staying in kind of cranky mode. But in terms of lessons learned, and I'll even go back to the Redfall videos on IGN of showing videos of the game running at 60 on PC. at the point knowing that the game was going to run 30 frames per second at launch on console. Like, we have to be transparent about what we're showing, that what we're showing is representative of what our console customer, our most committed customer to our brand, financially committed, what they're
A most committed customer to the brand. Oh, the console player. Okay. You said it again.
going to see, what they're going to play, and that transparency just has to get better. And I'm not pointing at anybody but myself, right? I guess at some point I will have enough knocks against me that it's somebody else here. But that, I think it's transparency in what we're building, what our aspiration is for the game, what it's going to look like, what the features are. And it drives me crazy when we self-inflicted wounds of kind of putting things out there of communication that's confusing or misleading about what the actual end product is going to be.
Okay. So explain this then.
Ally handheld. Xbox release. Our Xbox Ally handheld, which lets you bring your Xbox experience and your library with you anywhere.
Hit that like button, grinders. Holy crap. Oh, man. I can't. Oh, man. Where is he? Wait. Hit that like button. Oh, my goodness. Where is it? Oh, I can't. We trip over. Oh my god, I can't get that enough of that. I can't get enough of that. Oh goodness gracious, Phil Spencer.
Is that a deal? No, I keep losing at deals, and I don't want to make a deal anymore. I am leaving, and you can't stop me. I'm packing my bags.
Oh, he'll be packing his bags when this thing drops.
This. A bump in the road comes, and she's be sarcastic. I won't be coming back until Saturday when you leave. She's gonna try to stop me, but she can't run in those little high heels. Never see this face again.
One more for good measure. I need one more. Guys, hit that like button. One more for good measure. Phil.
Knocks against me that space. I'm just not in that headspace. Right? It's like, hey, how do we get a big game out every quarter? I'm going to try to oversell, showcase that's confusing. I think it's transparency in what we're building, what our aspiration is for the game, what it's going to look like, what the features are. And it drives me crazy when we self-inflicted wounds of kind of putting things out there of communication that's confusing or misleading about what the actual end product is going to be.
Xbox hardware release. Our Xbox Ally handheld, which lets you bring your Xbox experience and your library with you anywhere. I hope you enjoy.
Oh, man. He's still learning. He's still learning, Phil. He's still learning. Look at all of them. He's still learning. He's learning. Look at all the videos he's learning in. He's learning. Yo. Oh, man. Phil Spencer. Oh, man. My goodness. Our Xbox Ally that plays all your library of games. It's a PC. Phil Spencer's like, this is what I do to the Xbox community.
They're like mushrooms. Feed them shit and keep them in the dark.
Oh, man, Phil, not like this. Not like this, Phil. Oh, my God. Isn't this full sabotage? Dude, he hates it when he trips on his own. Oh, man, he just did it. One more, Phil. I love it. You pull that out your ass. You pull the lies out your ass.
The next Xbox hardware release. Our Xbox Ally handheld.
Yo. The next Xbox hardware release. Yo. Then, yo. Glaze! And they all ran. Remember? Remember? They all came around. They're like, the Xbox handheld. They all ran around, remember? They took this and they glazed just the community. They glazed them, just like the guy says. They keep giving me free shit. I'll promote your false glaze. Like I'll just do it. Yo, man, that's a triple glaze. That's a PHILNESS triple glaze.
Xbox hardware release. Our Xbox Ally handheld.
Oh, man. You forgot the ROG, Phil. You forgot the ROG.
Which lets you bring your Xbox experience and your library with you anywhere.
Your Xbox library with you anywhere. 30 games out of my 350, Phil. I need answers. Phil. Oh, man. He's still learning. Well, you know what? Let's learn some more. Remember our good friend Patrick Klepek, who said Phil was a hoarder. He hoards the games. He's hoarding the history. Remember, this is his interview with PHILNESS. Let's hear what he had to say. Phil.
Long ago, Gears of War 4 just came out. Sea of Thieves is coming, but people wondering, like, what big new worlds are they working on?
Right.
So, can you speak to what Microsoft's investment in first party, and I guess specifically sort of like new worlds that you're sort of working on for the
Yeah,
future?
you know, I've seen some of the stuff that you've written and people kind of asking and questioning about our investment in first party and how important that is, both as a gamer who says, hey, I just want things to go play so my kid's not chewing on my controller, if I remember that line. But
Oh!
What?
Well,
Was that?
Yep. It was, let me be clear.
What?
I own 3 of these controllers. One's on my PC, one's on my Xbox. I was like, wow, you know what? Owned.
Nice deflection, Phil.
I do pay attention. I read it.
You know what? It's because when I tweeted that, then people started including you.
No,
in the
don't
tweet
try to.
chain.
I
That's what
follow
I'm
you.
gonna say.
I follow you.
I know.
No, it's so. I mean, you and I have actually been doing this for a while. Like this sounds like total PR line. Like, I love my job. I love being a gamer. I've been a gamer since I was a young kid playing games with my dad, and like I care about our platform, and I want to make it as good as I possibly can as the head of Xbox. When I started in this job 3 years ago, hardware was a real focus for us because I thought we had more work to do there. And S we shipped last year, X is coming out this year.
Right.
I love our hardware line. Xbox Live was something I really wanted to focus on in terms of cross-platform, getting it on iOS, Android, Windows, focusing on our stuff coming to Windows because I really want people to play great games on the devices they want to go play. Our first party, my previous job was head of first party, is a critical part of that equation. Yesterday, sitting here today, showing our games, it was about 42 games filling up the time. But I know people want to see what we're investing in new. And we are investing in new things. We've signed things just recently that I thought about, hey, from a PR standpoint, it'd be really easy for me just to go put a trailer on screen, even though I know the game's not coming for 2.5, 3 years.
Right.
I didn't want to do that. And I understand certain people will say, well, hey, that gives me confidence in the future of Xbox. This is kind of a cheesy line, but I'll say, trust that this is important to us as a platform. From the CEO of the company on down, if you talk to Satya about it, he would say, I understand we need to invest in content in the gaming space. And that is important, and we are going to invest. And I love the games that we showed. Sea of Thieves, I thought Crackdown looked fantastic. I thought State of Decay looked really good.
Dude, Crackdown looked fantastic. State of Decay. Dude, that's the last State of Decay we got. When Sea of Thieves came out, that's the last State of Decay 2. That's the last time we had. Dude, Sea of Thieves came out 2018, 2017, 2025. State of Decay 3. We haven't seen it at all. We have seen a little bit of fake gameplay. State of Decay 3. It was in development before they even purchased Perfect Dark. How? Like they had State of Decay 2 before. Trust Xbox. Trust is big. We got to invest. So what did he do? He bought the studios. And that was it. No games. He went on E3 game stage and announced that they bought studios. That was the gaming announcement.
Super Lucky's Tales, a new first-party game. We got to
Super Lucky's Tales.
announce Ori the next Ori coming out, and Ori's one of my favorite games, frankly, of all
Not
time.
enough people played that game.
That is a fantastic game. But I know what you're asking about. It's like, hey, there's kind of big AAA console
kind of
games
things that only the Microsofts, the Sonys, the
That's
Nintendos
right.
of the world can put the resources, like platform holders, or only certain types of games those sorts of companies can make.
Yeah, and I hear that, and I'm committed to that. So and today, now, I wanted to talk about things that if you go buy this console this year, you're going to get to go play in this year. But I hear that question, and I don't want your kid chewing on the controller anymore. So I'll continue to work to deliver games there. And it's like we did it on hardware, we did it on platform and compatibility and everything, and we will do this on first party as well. It is.
Years, grinded. Years, Phil. Still shipping hardware and canceling games. I come back to it. Still.
Handheld, which lets you bring handheld. It's Ally Handheld. Hardware release. Our Xbox Ally Handheld.
What about those games behind you, Phil? What about these games?
Which lets you.
What about Perfect Dark? What about Fable? What about State of K3? You know, the big games that you could only do, like a Perfect Dark. Isn't that crazy? That back then, they were asking, like that, he took that and said, hey, dude, the games that you could make, that only you could make, the big games. Talking about Perfect Dark. Shout out to Michael Meridian with the 5. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. But like, it's only the games that you could make. And that was Perfect Dark. They built the studio, they shut it down. So they said, hey, well, we can't make them, so let's go buy them. And now we hear about all this rigmarole that Phil talks about, right? Where does he talk about it? He talks about play the games you want, where you want, and how you want. Well, let's look at like what Phil did. Hey, Phil, what about this one? I thought exclusives were not good. Satya, get in here.
Feel like and look like to give folks that sense. I just don't think you can.
Let me ask a question.
Put out another.
This is when exclusives were the hotness, right? Everybody wasn't like, oh, everybody should play this game. It should be everywhere. Everybody should play. Yeah. Look what Microsoft did. They go spend $7 billion to do what?
Tone piece today, it shows off more concepts.
The ultimate money hack.
A little bit more of what the team is trying to create.
This is when exclusives were good.
We got a ways to go, and we have thoughts.
I guess one of the big discussion points that exists around Starfield now is the Xbox and PC exclusivity is finally confirmed, and I guess the question around that is, at what point did that become a consideration for you over the course of development within Bethesda itself, and how did it impact both the development and also as something that you would know, particularly like your plans for marketing, because you obviously go from speaking to a massive base of customers to kind of focusing it down a bit, right? When did that become a consideration, and how did you approach that?
Well, it wasn't a consideration until we got bought by Xbox.
So that means that they were making Starfield for everything, and it was never a consideration until they spent $7 billion and said, make this exclusive. Don't you think that's pretty hypocritical for a company that's been going around even before the ZeniMax acquisition about more people, more games all over? Play where you want, who you want, everywhere you want. But you go out and go buy ZeniMax and take the first 2 games from them and make them exclusive in Redfall and Starfield. And what's hilarious is that they both fell flat on their face and realized that, damn, they can't get a W. They can't win. They can't win because they said, we cannot build this stuff from the ground up. We are having problems. We can't build the stuff that we need. So let's go buy it. And they spent $7 billion to buy ZeniMax to go take those 2 games and say, don't make PlayStation versions. The anti-frosted glass. And now you make it exclusive for us. And that's right. He left decades after work. He left right when Starfield released. So right before Starfield, right after Starfield, he left. He was done. But there you go. It was never a consideration to make this exclusive only when they bought them.
Well, it wasn't a consideration until we got bought by Xbox.
There you go. This is what I mean, the roller coaster of a ride of the PHILNESS. Talking about more people to play where you want. And that's why that Redfall interview that I showed first was such a kick in the stomach for him, because he knew that that was a gamble. If these two games didn't work with exclusivity, then Xbox is cooked. This is the last big thing. We bought the studios. Their games are not enough to do anything. So let's go buy ZeniMax and use them to make our exclusive games because we can't make them. So let's buy games that are already in development. They're ready to go. And we'll just tell them to not make the PlayStation versions and make it only on our platform. And we'll have exclusives on our platforms to drive Game Pass and to drive console. And it didn't work. It didn't work. That was the last hope for exclusivity. This whole, like, we're going to make exclusives. It didn't work. And actually, it was something that came to bite them in the ass, because when they went to go buy Activision, everything they did with ZeniMax, with Redfall and Starfield, were brought up as like, well, you're buying huge ass publishers and basically you are taking things away. And Phil's like, well, I never took it away. Well, it's right here. You did take it away. The game wasn't announced and then you dropped off the platform, but he says it right there. They were never considering doing an Xbox exclusive until you bought them. And you were told, this will be exclusive. We spent $7 billion on you. This will be exclusive. And this is not new information. But the thing is that you watch their actions and how much they spew bullshit about community and go where you want to go and the games you want to play everywhere. And everybody should be able to play. No walled gardens. No walled gardens. Well, that sounds like a damn walled garden to me. What happened? What happened to walled gardens?
Base of customers to kind of...
Well, it wasn't a consideration until we got bought by Xbox.
What happened to walled gardens? Walled gardens, right? No, not good. Well, you create a walled garden with these two. All of a sudden, walled gardens were good again. Exclusivity was great. And now, where you are. And what's interesting is that for those that say exclusivity is bad for the developer and bad, and they want more, they want their games, listen to what he continues to say, because this is another narrative of like, well, cross-platform development, they want it all, they want it all. Well, let's hear about cross-platform development, and let's hear about how exclusivity helps the developer. Because it is work to put this game, to make sure it runs on a Switch, to make sure it runs on PC, to make sure it runs on PlayStation, to make sure it runs on Xbox. Yeah, that's work. That's work. It don't just magically happen. They would love more people to play their game, but is it worth the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth for me to develop for the platform where my game might not sell? Well, let's hear about this focused development and how exclusives may be good for a developer.
And then as part of Xbox, and we looked at what we were doing, it is going to be exclusive on PC and within the Xbox ecosystem. And I think it's important to phrase it like that, only because, you know, recently within the last week, Phil has talked about how they're looking to expand that, right? And other ways they're looking to bring Xbox gaming to folks who don't own a Series S or X or even a PC, but want to play the kinds of games that, you know, we're bringing to Game Pass and we're bringing to Xbox. So wherever and however that Xbox ecosystem expands, obviously we're excited about that. The flip side, the other thing you asked about is like, what is the impact on development? Well, I'm here to tell you, and any dev will tell you this. You go to fewer platforms, your development gets more streamlined. You're not worrying about, well, how does it work on this box versus how does it work on that box? We're not making it on that box. So it just needs to run as well as possible on this one, on a PC. You know, narrow focus always helps. Same is true, by the way, for a game like Deathloop, right? When we decided to do a partnership with Sony on Deathloop, and that game became exclusive to that platform, that development got more streamlined because we said PS5 and PC, that's what we're focusing on. So I think in that way, it does free up the developers a little bit in terms of what they're trying to get the thing to be the best game on. When you have fewer of those, it's going to go a little better.
And like you mentioned,
Phil.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd have to go back and look at
There you go. Streamlined development. Now it makes you question, well, how the Starfield only 30 frames when there was streamlined development to make sure it runs best on the Xbox because it was exclusive. You think about Hellblade 2. It didn't have to worry about a PlayStation version. The Xbox was the platform, a streamlined development. Redfall as well. So you think about it and go, well, wait a second. How did these games come out half-baked and no performance modes on Starfield when that was the focus? It was they didn't have to worry about a PlayStation version. So yet again, it comes down to booty cheek management and Phil Spencer management. They just did a set it and forget it. They wrote the check over and said, get the game out. He's not happy, and he left a year later. But this is the problem. He's telling you right there, and he says all developers will tell that. Focus development. And he probably sits there and kicks himself in the ass going like, look, how awesome Deathloop was when we worked with Sony and we just focused on that platform. And Starfield got all this bull in the reviews and stuff like that because it wasn't what it was supposed to be. And on console, it was even worse. It didn't have a performance mode on it. Redfall was a disaster. It wasn't no Deathloop moment for them. How did Sony get Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo from this man? They did the exclusivity, focused development, worked well. And then right after this interview, a year later, this guy drops Redfall and Starfield, and Phil Spencer's crying on an Xcast interview about how they just can't out-console Sony. Talk about a friggin' disaster. And he put it on himself, like, oh, well, I didn't check on them. We didn't go with Redfall. Like, you know, And that was after a year delay of those two. That was after a year delay. Redfall and Starfield was supposed to come out in 2022. They got delayed to 2023. They both had a year delay. Redfall was supposed to come out summer 2022. They had a year delay and still came out looking and performing like that on the premier console experience, First Class Citizen. So yet again, how is Matt Booty and Phil Spencer still at Microsoft and Xbox? How are they still walking in the hallways right now? How is Monday morning they wake up, Booty says, does anybody need anything, and goes back to sleep? And Phil Spencer goes around and says, who wants to interview me? I got to go to iJustine's basement and do an interview. Pause. With a sister. How? How are these two still walking around the hallways of Microsoft? After the failure, after failure, after failure. It's failure with the PH. Falling upwards. How are they still there? And how did they shut down studios? How did these people just got the thing shut down on them? Grinders. Where is it? How?
A studio from the ground up in a new location takes time.
When I started the studio, we were just a couple of game makers in a very small room in
They're
Santa
gone!
Monica,
All
trying
of
to
them!
come up with a vision for not only a game, but for the studio.
What we really liked was the idea of secret agents.
Espionage, reconnaissance, tricking people, getting into places unseen.
And there really isn't a game out there that's hitting that sort of blockbuster secret agent vision. So when I found out that we were reinventing the franchise of Perfect Dark, I was very excited.
They're all gone.
Perfect Dark, when it came out, was revolutionary. It did a lot of things that other games weren't doing.
The gadgets stand out still. Some of the wild guns.
Well, he left to go to work on Spider-Man 2.
You were
Smart
a
move.
female secret agent in a world of corporate crime.
That was super exciting to me back in the day. You didn't get very many games where you even saw a female lead character, much less saw one being as awesome as Joanna is.
To take something that it's been so long since the first installment and sort of rethink what that could be and how we bring that into the modern era is a really interesting problem to solve.
It's also something we have to treat very, very carefully.
You have to avoid doing too much devotion to the past, but not enough. You have to find the right spot in the middle.
Things were very limited back when the first Perfect Dark came out in the way they could express a secret agent, both in gameplay and in narrative. And us, without those limitations, ideas just started sparking.
They're gone. The game's gone. The studio's shut down.
Things we thought about was how to differentiate what we call spy fighting versus what you would see in a traditional first-person shooter. Sliding under things, jumping over things. We really wanted to play up the physicality and being in the world, getting some of that camera movement that we see watching body cameras, GoPros, and trying to get that excitement of moving in places and in ways that you and I don't.
And that was in 2020. When they announced it, they were created in 2018. It took them 2 years to get to this, to show this just CGI trailer. And then after that, it took another 4 years after this interview here. We never heard anything about them. 4 years after this, they got Drew Murray left. Bootleg Avengers studio Crystal Dynamics with Times Square Spider-Man took over and partnered with them. Booty said it was fine. Nothing to see here. And then in 2025, they get shut down and the game gets canceled. And Rare doesn't take the remaining part of it. Rare gets gutted. They cancel their game that was announced in 2018, 2017, whatever wild. And that's gutted. And Rare is just making honey and working on Sea of Thieves. And ZeniMax, who they spent $7 billion on to make Redfall and Starfield exclusive, their next big Elder Scrolls Online, their next game that they were going to work on, done. Nah, that's nixed as well. How is Phil and Matt Booty still there? He blamed himself for Redfall. He teases about himself getting paid too much for what he does. He says he's going to make enough mistakes that somebody will be replacing him. This is what he has said publicly on interviews. And now they're at a point where they think they could slap this console after what they did. He was out there grinning.
You've also
like this, like he got something that nobody has. And a month later, they shut it down. They shut it all down. And he wrote a memo going, we're doing better than ever, but we don't need you. This man went out there like he had some goddamn friggin' magic trick out his ass.
also seen the next Xbox hardware release, our Xbox Ally handheld.
And a month later, they shut it all down. His Perfect Dark is gone. Everwild's gone. We don't even know if State of Decay 3 is going to make the cut. Who knows? It's like Russian roulette. It's like, where are you when it's time for Microsoft to fire people? And they're not stopping. They've been releasing thousands, 9,000 tons of people. This is not duplicate work. They're shutting down studios. They're canceling games. And they're going where they want their more money Satya is not going to the bank. He's looking at over on Team Green and going, what can I get rid of to make more money for my AI? That's what he wants. He probably is going to go into there and make Muse make them new games. Type in some goddamn prompts and say, make me a first-person shooter sci-fi, ship it in Game Pass. That's what he wants AI to do. Make the games for them. We don't need creative. We don't need artists. We don't need any of that stuff. All I need to do is go into Muse and I can type in, make me a first-person shooter with some sort of RPG elements. It looks like some sort of fantasy game. And that's it. And they're working on it. Perfect. And it's great compatibility for PC because that's where all the gamers are. They're not on console. They chase them all away. And throw it in Game Pass. Look at all these games. They'll have like 5 and... Dude, it is going to... If Satya has it the way he's going to have it, it is going to be like mobile... Like how you get all those mobile games. Like you have all those Candy Crush imposters and all those casino games. All the stuff that's in their Windows Store. You know, all that stuff that's in their Windows Store. Like all this. It's going to be all AI. Satya is going to make it... They're going to make it all AI. All this crap here. Oh, look at this. Look at their best-selling games. Look at this joke. This is the store that they want everybody to come to. Here it is. Here's their store. Look at the best-selling games. Raid, Shadow Legends, Slots, Vegas, Candy Crush, Slots Casino, Seeker's Notes, Vegas Slots, Gambino, Seeker's Notes, Hidden City, Here's Destiny, Here's Dead by Daylight, Here's Slots again, Clockmaker, Township, Klondike, Bingo Blitz, Here's Rematch in Dreamlight Valley. Oh my God. Sherlock, look at what it's surrounded by. More slots. We got Warhammer Dogtime, but then there's Cash Frenzy, Jackpot Party, Ark Survival, Vin Diesel, where's your Ark? Vin Diesel, where's yours?
I don't play this game.
Thank you, exclusive Grindhouse interview. Then we got Jules, Rome of March, Greenscapes, Homescapes, Fishdom. These are the best-selling games. March of Empires, War of Lords, Disney Magic Kingdoms. Here we go back again. Casino Phil, Casino Games, Vegas Live Slots, Minecraft Java Edition, Jewels of the West. Oh, shit.
The buried treasure is gemstones of juicy glazed blackberry.
Sea of Thieves, The House Fighter Don't Die, and then Farmville 2. It still goes on. These are the best-selling games in this Microsoft store that they wanted. These are the games that feed into your Xbox app, by the way, on PC. Slots, House of Fun, Jewels of Egypt, Slots again, Slotomania. Oh, and there's the $7 billion acquisition, Call of Duty. After 5 pages deep, after 20 things of slots. Holy shit on me.
Grab your controller.
We finally found $80 billion acquisition. There it is. Call of Duty. Oh.
Always last in the race, and we will always.
And Halo's right there. Oh.
Spend more cash, make ourselves complete.
Halo Infinite.
We need $80 billion. Gotta make a splash to be relevant. We'll go all out, no holding back. Led by PHILNESS and Booty, we'll bring the games everywhere. No more sucking, it's time to show we care. Let's start by bringing Penaments.
This is their future of gaming.
Russian grounded games over to PlayStation and Switch, and we will say that exclusives don't matter anymore. And then wait when we get Starfield ready for the pitch. Big Booty Bobby
Jesus.
walked out with the bag, and now we're left with all these IPs. What the hell are we supposed to do?
Oh my God. More slots. World Series of Poker, Fallout 76, Cradle of Empires. Do you imagine you looking for a game and all you got is these are best-selling games. This is not free games. These are they're free games, but they're best-selling. I don't know why they're on this list, but my God, PHILNESS, this is look at this. Just the colors alone going down the screen. Just the colors alone. Where's all those studio games? Oh shit! Look at this piece of cake, piece of ass. Oh, man. Flight Sim. Here's Forza next to Fishing Planet and Paradise Island 2. Yo, they need to curate. This shit is what the... Who? Like, why are there, like, real games in here and then there's a bunch of crap? Yikes. We got Forza Horizon 4 next to Bubble Witch 3 Saga. Call of Duty Black Ops next to Pet Rescue. Oh, shit. There's Death Stranding. It's next to Designville, Merge and Design. And Emperor Mojang. Yikes. What kind of customers are these? I need to know. Like, dude, this is like, I don't know what mishmash of shit this is, but this looks like goddamn Apple Store. I think Apple Store is better quality. This is more like the Google Store. Here's the Vault Edition of Black Ops 6. It's next to Solitaire Cruise, Tri-Peaks card game, and Differences Online Find the Object. Assassin's Creed Shadows is sitting next to Mergius Kingdom Start game. Mergius. I don't know what. There's Oblivion sales in Game Pass. Next to Pyramid Mahjong. Oh, and here's Final Fantasy. Is this Final Fantasy 16? We found Final Fantasy 16. There it is. Next to the banger, Bloons TD6. We found it. They wanted this game so much. Xbox, look. Final Fantasy 16 Complete Edition. We found it. Next to the banger right here, Bloons T. Look at this game. Is the banger. Oh, man. They waited all those years of Final Fantasy 16 for this. Oh, shit. Oh, man. And then, wait a second. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, the brand new game, $70. Why is it next to Mech Arena? Oh, no. What is this game? Uh-oh, is this Mech Assault? Oh, what this is? And next to, Date Everything. This game just came out. Oh, man. This is the future of Xbox. This is the store. And look, here come all the games. After we get through Casinos and Microsoft Ultimate Word games and Casino World, we finally made it to, Expedition is down here. Modern Warfare, Halo Master Chief, SnowRun. Here are some of the games. All in Game Pass. Yikes. They need, this is the store that they want to sell you to. Shh. Phil, this is their Xbox. Phil, what is it again?
Which led to their release, our Xbox Ally handheld.
Oh, me want you to play slots on that thing. My God, Phil Spencer, not like this. But why does it look like a mobile store? Well, you want to know why, Grinders? Because Phil Spencer, in an email on February 15th, 2019, the final PHILNESS, when he was talking about xCloud and that mobile world that they seem to be chasing. See, that's the thing. If you look at that store, that's the store that he wants you to buy from on their Xbox. On their Xbox. That store that I just went through. That's the store that works on the future of Xbox, Windows PC. That's their store. That's the one right here at the bottom. Their store. That's their Windows PC. When you say Xbox PC, there it is. And those games feed into that. They've been doing that now. Just like they say to put Steam in there, all their mobile games, all those other games feed into that store because that's where you buy your games from. Well, here you go. This is by they've been chasing that golden goose. Hit that like button, Grinders. They've been chasing that golden goose. What slot? The first? I don't know what slots. There's a billion of them. But again, Phil Spencer, how is this? Read his email. Phil Spencer, in a leaked email, February 15, 2019, talking about xCloud strategy and GDC in 2019. to Catherine. Phil Spencer writes from Phil Spencer. This is what he wrote. I don't find it frustrating at you. These conversations help me think it through. He says, I get frustrated that I'm not clear. My point's in line, and they're not there. Again, I'm learning. I get frustrated that I'm not clear. It's not you, it's me. And then she pulls out one of his points. She goes, thank you for taking the time to lay it out. I find it helpful. Also, let me clear up that I'm not looking to frustrate you by talking past each other. I'm happy to stop this push if you find it unhelpful. She goes, really, thank you for... She goes, as I read your email, I find myself agreeing with you 95% of our email. It's the final 5% that I do think perhaps I see a little differently. Phil Spencer's quote, here it is. One of his points. We have no strategy to win organically in mobile gaming. I can't come up with one. The only thing we could do is close all the Xbox stuff and with the same OPEX, try to start a mobile gaming company inside of Microsoft. This is kind of what Bobby Kotick is trying to do with Activision Blizzard. She goes at the bottom after his quote. He wanted to wrap it all up, get rid of this Xbox stuff. Grinders, this is 2019. Phil, how are you talking about that Xbox stuff again?
I will say this might be disruptive. Our ecosystem upset, great experience, and it's that when you other things that will that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else. Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform.
Oh. There's just a couple years before that, you called it Xbox stuff. And you were willing to get rid of it to become a mobile gaming company. And then she goes on to continue going, agree. To me, this is the definition of winning on mobile as mobile content exists today. And you're right, we can't play in that game. I assume Forza Streets, remember that one? And Gears Pop are our plays, but hard to see how they are scale plays. Genua could have a larger impact. And I don't remember what Genua was, but Genua was another game, I guess. Another mobile game that they were probably trying to make. This is 2019. Grinders, this is the year before they were going to announce their brand new Xbox Series consoles. This is the beginning of the generation. And you wonder why Halo was the only game that was slated for the launch of the Series X. They didn't care about the console. They didn't care about the games. They're trying to weasel their way in markets where they don't belong. And that is their only focus. Microsoft is a bitch-ass company that wants to weasel its way into places, and it will sever talent and people that work and creatives to get their weaselly way into somewhere where they could say, here we are, and then they could just fail again and go, yep, that was a fun trick, but they destroy everything in the process. They're like a friggin' tornado. They're like a hurricane. They just go roll through, say, here we are, name my ass, and then behind them is a destruction. Don't believe me? Look at what Microsoft did to Nokia. Nokia made incredible phones, incredible hardware, and continue to make incredible hardware. Microsoft bought them because of their Windows Phone test. They wanted to compete. They needed their own phone manufacturer. They bought Nokia for $5 million, $1 billion, whatever the hell they bought them, $5 billion or whatever. They bought Nokia. Well, when Satya came in, the first thing he did was shut it down and get rid of it. They sold it off for parts. And Satya goes, that was the worst mistake he made. Well, there you go. Because all they see is this future, but they don't care about how many people they kill or what vision they destroy to get there. That's why they're a piece of shit company. And I don't want them in gaming because they never cared. Like, it's interesting if you want to be somewhere, but you don't lose sight of what the true value of your gaming participation is. And the fact that you're willing to put in an email, that you're willing to just shut all the Xbox stuff down and just make a mobile thing. And what's crazy is that how is he still there when how many times do we see I don't get frustrated at you. I'm frustrated. I get frustrated that I'm not clear. Yet again. What is, I don't know if he has a problem or if this is his kind of MO, but I don't understand how constantly he just says, hey, before you could rag on me and tell me how bad I am, I'm just going to tell you that I suck. That's what he does. He's like, you know what? Before you tell me I suck again, I'm going to just say it. And that's what he does. And I just think he's just crazy.
Another one. Xbox can't compete as they are getting washed in console, crushed in cloud, and now smashed with PC handhelds. Oh no, they suck again. They suck again.
Hit that like button, grinders. But yeah, crazy, right? But yet again, you see the tone of the email. We got to be mobile. Let's get rid of this Xbox thing and do mobile. It's like, you just were saying how the Xbox, like, no wonder the customer feels that they're not a first-class citizen. They never were. You're worried about all this other stuff in xCloud. xCloud. That's what you're worried about, right? Well, let's go Sarah Bond under oath and talk about xCloud. Why don't we hear about it that much anymore, right? Elvin says he's been saying this for years. Well, welcome, Elvin, to the Gaming Grindhouse. Thank you. Listen, it's horrible. And not to say that any other company's perfect, but this company really definitely has a different... They're using gaming as a stepping stone to do what they want, and they'll just destroy everything. Sarah Bond, I'll check it, Lucci, after I get through this. Sarah Bond says, Xbox Cloud is Game Pass Ultimate least popular feature. Says the service running at a loss. Xbox says cloud gaming is primarily used as a console feature right now. Well, isn't it funny in the emails they're trying to use xCloud as a way to get mobile, right? That's the whole point, is get the people that don't buy the console to use xCloud, to grow. Remember Phil wants to grow? That's right, Compost. Been roasting them for years, man. And it's just crazy going back and seeing the stuff that we criticized back then is even worse now, knowing how exposed they've been and how detrimental they've been now to canceling these games that we wanted to play. That's crazy, but then canceling one of my favorite franchises. Like in Perfect Dark, it's gone. And in gutting Rare. Like, it's just crazy. Now it's even hitting more home for me. Because that's some horseshit. xCloud is their future, right? They wanted xCloud to grow the market, to go where people just use phones and not going to buy a console, right? Well, Sarah Bond in her cross-examination in the FTC trial said that Xbox players utilize cloud across consoles and mobile devices, but she explained that the primary use is on console rather than on mobile devices and or PC. She goes, what we found is really being used by our players as a feature on the console, because what people can do is stream it before they download it, and it's a way of testing out the game rather before they download it. Well, that shows you that actually downloading a game is a barrier. Oh my. Remember, Game Pass is not a barrier, but downloading a game Just click on it in Game Pass. You don't have to buy the game because that's a barrier. Downloading is a barrier when you could just stream it. So, xCloud didn't do what it needed to do. It wasn't bringing in a new audience on Android phones, on laptops, on people using the cloud. It didn't do it. Didn't grow. Then on top of that, you look at what they showed. Here it is. It's at the end of 2024. This is the Game Pass gameplay distribution of xCloud gaming today. This is where Game Pass, Cloud Game Pass is being used. Look at the chart. Look at this. Look at where it's used the most. Xbox One consoles in the dark blue. Smart TVs in the orange. Windows PC in the green. And light blue is Xbox Series consoles. Everywhere. And there's your little slit over there. The pink is mobile. Other desktops and other devices. Dude, when they launched xCloud, they thought that half that circle was going to be mobile, given the install base. Remember Phil said 10 billion people out there? 10 billion people don't have console. There are 10 billion gamers out there. 8 billion, whatever the hell billion he said. 5 billion gamers out there. We're only at 200 million consoles every generation. But look. They're exactly what you said they were, and you abandoned them.
About console is it's your highest value gamer. It's your person who plays the most, they buy the most.
And there's your other answer. Let's finish that sentence.
About console is it's your highest value gamer. It's your person who plays the most, they buy the most. But the thing that's also important is that customer is actually your most valuable customer across every device.
No, they're not, Phil, because that console player is playing on the console. This is the end of 2024. Look how many people of that pie chart are on Xbox One. This is the end of 2024. You needed to focus on these people. I don't know that smart TV one. I guess people like their Fire Sticks. Or maybe their Samsung TVs. Maybe it was a party trick. But you got PC. But you got the two biggest pies is your Xbox One and is your consoles. That's where Xbox Cloud is using. And what's crazy is that the cloud runs off of those consoles. xCloud was supposed to grow the hot pink area. And we're talking about what will come out 5 years, 6 years, xCloud, 4G, 5G. And the mobile market is the largest market. And that's what he said. People don't want to play on small phones. And the reason why is you see that hot pink, you realize that their mobile strategy is not going to work with phones. Nobody bought Rikishi strap-ons for their phones because they wanted that hot pink to be more than half of that pie chart. That was the whole purpose of cloud gaming, was to get that mobile audience. And they haven't. So that's why the pivot this year is native handhelds. Is to kind of try to use PC to turn it into mobile. To grow with PC handhelds and native gameplay because it showed nobody wants to use the cloud on their phone because that audience is a different audience. They don't want to play Starfield on a phone and have to buy a controller for that because the mobile uses touchscreen. They have a different experience. And I think you have crossover between console and PC because you at least use the controller. I think, back in the day, it was very strictly, very few games used controllers. You had to use mods and stuff like that. I think that delineation between PC and console was definitely much more stronger. Now, with the cross functionality of controllers and developers making a lot of games with controller support, I know from myself experience, bouncing between a PC and a console is a little bit easier with your control style because I never would play if you had to use a keyboard and mouse. I'm not familiar with that stuff. Exactly. Slot machines on handhelds, Michael Meridian. Exactly. But you see how every avenue is a dead end for them. Everything they thought. And if you're stuttering Satya, you're probably like, enough of this. Like, enough of this. You told me that xCloud was going to blow up on phones, Phil. We put our games in Game Pass and people go xCloud. Why haven't the phone people used our stuff? And this is it. Like, this is how they failed. Their strategy. Yet again, the PHILNESS continues. But what is it doing a PHILNESS without talking about his Uber driver, right? We need to have his Uber driver here. Because Starfield, I think, was a big, major kick in the nuts for their exclusivity venture. And once they realized that, hey, we need our money back, we are losing money. And the fact how Phil went out there and said, hardware, this is our hardware, he's definitely deflecting in trying to make Xbox hardware, which I obviously what's going to be hilarious is when you look at that, when this ROG Ally Xbox thing comes out, how it is going to be Asus's financials on that one. And I don't think that thing's going to show up as an Xbox console hardware on their financials. So I'm expecting it to still be down, but it's going to be $1,000 anyway. And I don't think it's going to sell enough anyway at that price point. But I watched this thing. I thought it was hilarious because this has been the okie dokie ultimate PHILNESS in Starfield and $7 billion of buying them. And what Starfield wound up to be after Uber driver Todd Howard released it. This is hilarious. So get your popcorn, hit that like button, grinders, and let's enjoy this 4 minutes of fun. And I'll put the link to the video if you want to watch it later.
And for the first time ever, one of our industry's greatest creators, the director and executive producer of Bethesda Game Studios. That's right, Todd Howard, everybody.
Uber driver extraordinaire.
And Todd is here to give us an honest account of Starfield.
Thank you, Jeff. This is my first honest conference, and I'm doing it because you said how great the crowd is here. And
so, Todd, we love you, and this is a safe space. You can let the truth out now. Why did you want to make this game, Starfield? Why did you want to create a new world?
we have dreamt of a game where we can truly break the creation engine in every aspect. Once you've all upgraded your PCs, you'll be able to explore thousands of barren planets where a real sense of loneliness will start setting in. I mean, we tried to do something new where you could explore with complete freedom in the galaxy. But something's wrong with the game, and I can't quite put my finger on it.
It can't be all that bad though, Todd.
Well, crafting is worse, outposts are worse, companions will constantly moan at you, perks are worse, there's fewer gear slots. You know, I could go on and on. Can you imagine 16 times the loading screens though?
Yeah, I wish I could talk about the loading screens, and it's quite an experience, and I know everyone here is
16 times the loading screen.
Very excited to experience it soon. So Todd, what bugs did you bring to HonestCon?
Yeah, it's really cool. We've built a 300-person seat theater where we're constantly looping bugs from the game.
And what's the experience like?
Well, to be honest, it's a real nightmare. They're going to need to buckle up, and it's 2 hours they'll never get back. And I see a lot of things on the internet. I'm not sure that's real.
Let's move on to Quest then. Could you give us an example of what that's like?
Yeah, Jeff. As an example of a quest, you'll go to a star yard, talk to a lady, need to fetch a beverage, 10 loading screens later, and you've got a beverage. That's it. That's the only quest in that handcrafted location.
Sure.
Oh. Yo, Michael Reed with the 5, because my biggest fear is them just shuttering it up and all the IP just goes up in smoke. And yo, Michael, that is truth, man. That is a truth, because it's like, you know, he said they have a whole bunch. They hoarded so much history. I hope the only thing they do is if they shut it all down, they sell off their assets and other people get this IP. So that's what I'm hoping. Well, let's continue with the Todd Howard honest talk. Get a beverage, 12 loading screens later. Oh, man.
There must be some improvements to the creation engine.
Hey, yeah, just wait until you see what we've done with global illumination, bucket physics, artificial intelligence, character variation, and our brand new cutting edge 2005 motion capture technology. Add to this, I honestly believe we have the worst UI in the world because, hey, you know, the modders will fix that. And after 100 hours in the game, I still have no idea where anything is in New Atlantis. I honestly have zero clue where my penthouse apartment is.
And any Metacritic predictions for this, Todd?
We're aiming for a controversial 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's such an awkward experience, you know, and hopefully a nail in the coffin for the creation engine. But Todd, well, you and your team have played such a pivotal role in game development and have created some of our fondest childhood memories. We'll still buy the game and chalk this all up to experience. And now at least we can look forward to Elder Scrolls 6. So thank you for all you've done for our industry, Todd. Everyone, Todd Howard.
Thank you.
Yo, the mocap they have it going. Yo, that mocap.
New cutting edge 2005 motion capture technology. Add to this.
Oh man, yo. And that's the way that Starfield came out. The fewest bugs we've ever launched. That was the thing. It wasn't that it was bug free. It was the fewest bugs that we ever launched. This is Xbox now. This is them. Dude. It's the P. Yo, hit that like button, man. I'll put the link to this video, man. It's hilarious. But like how? Like how many faux pas can you have as Xbox and Microsoft and overseeing this? They just let them roll out. And I think the safety net of so who did this video? This is Unscripted did this video. I'm gonna put the link. I'll put the link in the description below. But man, that was hilarious. Unscripted did it. I don't know. That's where it was. But the thing is that they spent this money and they just wanted to just get it out there. Booty said anything in your way and all the stuff. We covered it on the last show. This is what they do. And like Michael was saying, like, you know, if they do shut it all down, they sell off the assets. Hopefully they sell off their IPs. Those IPs may be worth something. So maybe they say, hey, you know what? We're done with this Xbox stuff. But the problem is, I wish they would just do that because they're not going to do anything with these IPs anyway. They're not. They're not going to do anything with these IPs. Like, they're not. They're just going to sit on it. Like they said, they hoarded so much of gaming history right now. Prototype, all this. Like, they're not going to do anything. Exactly. Compo says ZeniMax was in financial difficulty before. I really think that they used all these studios. Microsoft used Game Pass as a safety net. You see it. That's the reason why this game launched at 30 frames on consoles. The reason why Hellblade 2 launched at 30 frames. Because they had the safety net of Game Pass. You already have a subscribing, paying customer in subscribing that, you know, that put it in Game Pass and we'll fix it later. And that was the problem with Game Pass. They knew that they had just suckers out there just subbed up, ready to eat up whatever they threw in there. And that's it. And you already paid. And that's the difference with Game Pass. Game Pass takes away the buying power of the customer. Because now it's the publisher who's deciding the content and you just consume. But there is no voting with your wallet with Game Pass. The only way you can is unsubscribe. But if you're locked in for like 7 months, if they have a crap month, like you see some of the stuff that they're putting out there and people are like trash. Same thing goes with PlayStation. Trash. But it's a bad month. You have the rest of the year paid off for the next 3 months. So you are not canceling it. You are still sub to their service. A sub sucker. There you are. Take it and leave it. The problem is exactly what Ryan says, the day and date. Because now you took the buying power of a game, the sales power of a game, and merged it with the subscription model. You could keep a subscription model, but keep it as a failsafe. Some indies that may need that model. Some, you know, as a failsafe for people who maybe didn't buy those games and want to check them out later. That's what you use the subscription for, as sort of a filler. but you keep delivering the sales of games. And I realize they realize that now. But what they did was they try to be disruptive and think that they will just throw their games in Game Pass. Publishers will see all these people playing their games, these huge numbers of day one players, and publishers will come knocking on Microsoft's door saying, let me put my game in your service. And Microsoft will be like, how much you want? And they can make money on it. The issue was that their games were sent out there just to satisfy the subscription and not for the game itself. Crackdown 3, a face down, ass up. Bleeding Edge, ass. Halo single player, no content added to it. Redfall, Phil crying. Starfield, no 60 frame performance modes. And glitches galore on PC. Like, you have to talk about the problems with the PC version. They hurt the quality aspect of their games. So their games never blew up in Game Pass. So they could tout those numbers to attract publishers. The flywheel, they used to call it. Oh, we're just going to put our games in there and everybody's going to watch us do it. We'll be the sacrificial lamb for that. And then everybody else will throw their games in Game Pass. It didn't happen. Another promise that Phil thought was going to happen. We will just put our games in there and other publishers will do it. It didn't work out because their games were just dumped into there, half-baked, and never blew up with the subscribers. And the subscribers never blew up. So publishers said, we're not going in Game Pass. Take our old-ass games. Microsoft went out, probably paid a couple of ones to put in Game Pass that they weren't confident in. And there you go. And now they are at 35, whatever million they are today, and that's all they're going to be. Because Game Pass is everywhere right now. And they're now back against the wall. They need to make money. Game Pass is not growing. Their games are not selling. So they got to go put it somewhere else to make money back of what they spent. And I'm telling you right now, they spent so much money, they will never make back the money that they're trying to make. That ROG Ally, $1,000 console, Phil says you don't grow the market with $1,000 devices. Well, then why are you pulling that thing out your ass, Phil? Well, where's the final PHILNESS? Where's Phil? Where did he say it, right? You don't grow the market with $1,000 consoles. Right? Isn't that what he said? The never-ending PHILNESS. The never-ending PHILNESS. Here you go, Phil. Well, you want another laugh? Grinders, hit that like button, man. I told you we'd be cooking today. Let's do a side-by-side of the PHILNESS. Here you go. Phil Spencer right here. We're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles. Phil Spencer says likely leaving the PS5 Pro. Phil Spencer says we're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles.
The next Xbox hardware release, our Xbox Ally handheld, which lets you bring your Xbox experience and your library with you anywhere. Handheld hardware release, our Xbox Ally handheld, next Xbox hardware release,
we're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles. Phil Spencer, it's just so easy. Like, I don't get it. What are you doing then? This is. Yes, the rumors about GT6 too. I wouldn't be surprised GT6 running on 60. So there it goes. In the chat, featured him talking about handhelds. Let's see it again. Talking about handhelds many times this year. Phil Spencer has some thoughts of where the industry's at in 2024. This is just last year. He said, well, you're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles. A line that doesn't seem like it might potentially be a bit of a cheeky jab at an expensive console that came out recently.
Like zoinks.
Oh, was he alluding to the PS5 Pro? Mm-hmm. And then he says, the Microsoft exec said Xbox business never been more healthy. He says, after all the layoffs and studio closures that's done this year, the growth stuff is like cloud gaming, PC gaming, and console usage. He also cited, he goes, the growth in stuff, and so everything's growing. He feels pretty good where the industry is going. To reach new players, we need to access creative and adaptive business models, new devices, and new ways of access. We're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles.
Hardware release, our Xbox Ally handheld.
like what?
Like zoinks.
Bass is fucking raw! Shit! Raw! Raw chicken! It's raw. Fucking raw. They look raw! Raw, Carol! Fucking raw! Raw! Fuck off. And by the way, it's raw.
It's raw. He's the Patrick Bateman of gaming. Like, he just said this last year. Even the layoffs that they did last year and closed studios down. Oh, we're fine. We're doing great. He even wrote it in their email to them. And now the X is more expensive than the Pro. Exactly, Michael. They increased the price of the X. So how, what are you doing then? Are we not growing anymore? Are we not, what is it? You increase the price of the consoles, so it's more money than the Pro that you were taking a jab at last year. And then you go pull the Asus ROG Ally Xbox son's former roommate cousin's friend out your ass.
Hardware release, our Xbox Ally handheld.
Rumored price at $1,000 or plus $1,000. What are you doing? But you want to know what? This is the PHILNESS of the whole thing. You want to know what the trick is. Do you know what the party trick is, Grinders? You know what the party trick is. Hit that like button. You know what the party trick is. The party trick is that it's not their hardware. That's the thing. It's not theirs. It's Asus's loss. Microsoft just collaborated to put some love handles on it and an Xbox button. It's not their hardware. They are not manufacturing it. So do they care if this sells? No. Does this have its own dev kit? No. The functions of this device is coming to all the other handhelds? Yes. So this is just a bait and switch, a glaze. This is nothing. This is a marketing ploy. That's exactly what this is. No, I'll talk about it, Lunchi. I'll get that Cyberpunk thing. I'll talk about Monday on the Grindhouse with the it's a bug. Oh, it's a bug? Yeah, I'm sure. With it getting roasted in Cyberpunk. I know, I got you. I'll put it as a topic on the Grinds board for Monday. I'm roasting PHILNESS right now. Because it's contradictory to everything that he says. Like, yeah. We're not new devices, new ways. You're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles. This is their latest hardware. $1,000 PC handheld. And there you go. It's not their hardware. That's the thing. So so now one last thing we'll leave you with is like this whole growth thing. It's not about the hardware growing. It's trying to grow the users. And that's it. That's all it is. They got to have growth in users. And that's it. Because now the hardware is not going to be at a loss. See, when they do their financials and they have Xbox hardware minus 35, minus 25, it's hurting them. They can't wait to not report that number anymore and have Asus discuss the sales of their hardware, which they're probably not. Asus numbers are up. That's it. And Lenovo and Legion, and just basically have them take the hardware hit while Microsoft sits back and does the software. Which is pretty funny because if you go back to the videos that I did when I talked about the creation of the Xbox, that was their first proposal, was to buy Nintendo and have OEMs make the hardware and Microsoft will just make the software. And the OEMs laughed at them, saying, well, we're not doing that. We're not taking the loss of the hardware research and development, R&D, and try to make that money back. The other thing is that there's no subsidizing of this. They're not going to subsidize it. Maybe they do. But as of, well, from what we know, it's an Asus device. And Asus is going to sell that for what they make to make their money back. Does Microsoft give it a $200 discount because they got Xbox brand on it? I don't know. Are they willing to spend more money? Or they're trying to make money? I don't know. Hey, welcome, Shadow Link. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I don't know. And that's another thing. I don't know how much. That's a good point. Crooked Vulture, I think that's a good point. How many of these are going to be manufactured? Because I can tell you, like with the MSI Core 8AI, like it was hard to find. And I think too, like, you know, how maybe these things are hard to find and people make, look, it's sold out. And maybe they only made like 4 or 5 of them. Who knows? Per store. I don't think so, Ryan. Asus don't get cut. Like Asus don't get cuts on this. They don't have a store. Like if I buy a game on my Acer Predator or my Asus laptop, they don't get a cut of what I get from, like, I buy from Steam. Unless they have their own little storefront, they offer discounts. I know Legion does, but Asus don't have that. Acer don't have that. They don't get a cut of what you purchase. Their hardware. So I don't. They don't do it. So the only way they'll get a cut is that if Microsoft kind of says, "Hey, we partner with you. We're gonna give you some money to subsidize this console, so it's more competitive." But if you think about that approach, then that means that what about Legion? The Legion Go 2 that's going to have Xbox OS, that's going to have Windows on it, the Windows handheld. What about the MSI 8, Core 8 that's coming out? Those are competitors to the ROG. How can Microsoft give favoritism to one OEM and not the other OEMs? Well, and they're all using Windows. You're basically just chasing the other two away, you know? How can they say, hey, Asus, we're going to give you, a discount so you can sell it for $500 and you can now undercut the Legion Go 2 that's coming out with the same hardware. And also you could undercut MSI 8, the Core 8 that's coming out. They're going to hate Windows. They'll probably run right over, you chase them to Steam OS. So you can't undercut, like if you go to a Best Buy, like Microsoft is not undercutting any OEMs. The app works on everything. There's no specific hardware on here. There's no chip that runs this thing differently than anything else. If you have a ROG Ally, the original one, that one's going to get the same update. It's a software update. It's an Xbox app update. That's all it is. And then they have some sort of installation of Windows when it detects that it's a handheld device, so it only installs what it needs for games. But you got to hope that it also runs everything that's needed for Steam and Epic Store because it has to do that. So it has to be kind of an operating system, but maybe some processes get reduced. But this thing is so convoluted. It's so confusing. And they are doing it on purpose. And they're going to try to weasel their way into making you think that this plays everything Xbox has, and it doesn't. It's very confusing. And it drives me crazy because I hear this stuff. I see people's confusion online and I hear videos and stuff like that. And that's why I try to explain as much as I can on here as a user of these devices exactly what it is and what it will be. And Microsoft is not being transparent as to how they're going to address these concerns. And I don't think there will be because that will hurt the marketing of it. If they just glaze it, keep it high level, yeah, we're adding games case-by-case basis. We're adding them. You could stream your old games to here. They could be wishy-washy as possible. But in the reality of it, when people boot it up and see, yo, I just bought this Xbox from my console. I'm getting this. 300 games, no, not there. And not all the Game Pass games. Some are over there, some aren't. You know, don't you notice when you see their Game Pass announcements? Some are, it's a Game Pass announcement for cloud and PC. One's an announcement for cloud. Just like, you know, oh, look, Death Stranding is in Game Pass. Yeah, it's on PC Game Pass. It's not on console. It's not on Xbox. For a year until finally it did come out. This year. Or last year, whatever it was. I think it was last year. But it was on Game Pass for over a year or so before it even came to console. You got a World of Warcraft. It's in Game Pass. Yeah, only on PC. You got PC only games in Game Pass. They don't go on console. So, vice versa. There's games on a whole bunch of games on console that are not on PC. And that's where you lose 300 games. And they're not telling you how to do it. Shout out, huge shout out to Mr. Grimm for 5 VIPs in the house, making sure he gets all those good grinders there. You got Shadow Link, he got Calvin, he got Marquise, he got Baltimore's, he got Gaff, and Will Hancock. Thank you, Mr. Grimm. And I'm telling you right now, I can't wait. And I can't wait for when this thing comes out, they put SteamOS on it. You see actually how many, like you see that it's going to be in beta. I can't wait to see how they continue with this. And I hope they do have an answer. I hope they do. But the market has already been penetrated. Pause. You know, the market has already been penetrated. Like this handheld thing, the Steam Deck is there. It's a very niche market. This guy didn't want to do VR because it's niche. And they're doing this. Hilarious, right? By the way, if you got the VIPs, there should be some awesome songs that you have access to, as well as a VIP show that I've done a month for the VIP. So hopefully you enjoy those videos. I'll do more of them coming forward. But, you know, this has been a wild, as you can tell, my voice is hurting. I don't know, man. We'll see how it goes, man. I don't know where those ninjas are at, man. Those Xbox ninjas. I don't know. I don't know where those ninjas are gone. But I know that Phil's going to have a lot of explaining to do. You know? He's going to have a lot of explaining to do on there. Yo, shout out to Shadow Link. Paying it forward, baby. Shadow Link with the 5 VIPs. He gave it to Lady Gamer. There you go. Then you said where the ninjas at, where the VIPs at. And Satya, we got Satya on the VIP list. Now we can really be cooking. We got Satya on the list. Veja, Noob of Games, and J-Ram. Welcome. Hit up those videos and the music. Thank you, I appreciate it, man. That's right, man. That's a true grind, man. Paying it forward. Thank you, I really appreciate it, man. That's nice. Very nice of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I know everybody's been here on this show. Let me see here if I have anything else to get. I don't know what is going on with this thing. Let me go back to my, load this up here. Let me just check something out here. There we go. You know what, too, Grinders? Since you are here on the special Saturday, I want to get everybody here live. I know some people are catching it live. I'm going to give out memberships. Here we go. Here's 5 from the Gaming Grindhouse from me to you. Enjoy the music. There you go. Let's see. I got them. There we go. I'll send out some love for you guys. For everybody. Gordo. Who did I get? Let's see who I got. I got Nate Dogg. I got Ghostface, Gordo, and Hero Down Under. There we go. So I figured, hey, you guys, thank you for coming in on a Saturday at the Gaming Grindhouse. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We are 13 people away from 3,100 subscribers. And also, got the show on Monday where we'll cover some of the topics that you see. People want Big Razzo wants part 3. Oh, man, he wants part 3. Well, I'm going to give you I'll give you that. We're going to cook on the song. We didn't hit the goals, but you know what? Since we are on a Saturday, I'll get you I'll give you that song again here. Here we go. We'll get that song from here. Where's that? We'll get the Booty Blues. I want everybody in the Booty Blues one. We'll get you with this one. Here we go. That one we'll do. But yeah, the Juicy 30 frames. This is the thing. We'll get more PHILNESS. I'm sure more coming away, but I can't wait to see what they do with the marketing to this thing and how they address it. There's a lot to do, and they just gutted a whole bunch of Microsoft and Xbox there. Like, I don't know. Sarah Bond's going to have to come out there, and we'll see. We will see. You know? I know Lucci has... Wait, let me just see. Lucci's been asking me. He's still here. Hold on. Let me double check something. I know Lucci sent me some DMs here. Let me see what he sent me. There's a little bonus. A little bonus. Here we go. Let's see what he sent. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the pro performance. And that's I'll use these in the show on Monday. But what, like, you know, another thing too is like we are seeing how the PS5 Pro, we're hearing about the possible enhancements that it's going to get with software updates. I told you the Pro is going to be a continuous thorn in the side of Xbox console. That's what's going to happen. It's gonna continue to perform. They just like what Lunchi was showing. Lunchi just said here on Wu Chang. Here, I'll share one of your tweets right here that he shared with me. There you go. See, Lunchi said this like right here. PS5 quality mode 30 frames, balance mode 40, performance 60. PS5 Pro, you're getting a 60, a 70, and an 80. This is the thing that the Pro is going to continue to do, and it's going to continue when GTA 6 comes out, when the biggest games of the year come out. And one other thing, talking about biggest games, now there's rumors that Battlefield is going to be announced and shown in a big showcase on July 31st. So hopefully we'll see. Mr. Henderson is reporting that. We'll see if anything comes around by Monday's show. But that's another thing that Microsoft has not been prepared for. Guess what? What happens when Battlefield comes out and Call of Duty's there? You just had a year where you just were the only show in town with Call of Duty. Also, by the way, I'm probably going to do a gaming grind maybe tonight of Ready or Not. I think I'm going to get it. I don't know if anybody in the chat, if you have Ready or Not, I know that some people, I know Will has. I saw him playing it. I think I'm going to get Ready or Not. I'm up for some strategic SWAT team. And if you're interested in that, definitely let me know. But yeah, thinking about shooters, you got Ready or Not, big SWAT team with the Rainbow Six filling that in, which I'm probably going to pick that up, and maybe we'll stream. Whoever has it, if I do the game and grind tonight, definitely jump in. But Battlefield coming out, it's definitely back and forth. Call of Duty and Battlefield, there's always been this thing. Who knows what's going to be better? But now, you don't know. Now Call of Duty has some competition now. They had a free year last year. Another little caveat that Xbox has to deal with now with Call of Duty. Will Call of Duty be impacted by the Battlefield crew? Who knows? You got Destruction and a new Battlefield in a long time. Maybe EA shows the right things. You even have Borderlands 4 coming out. But you got Battlefield coming out, and you got Call of Duty Black Ops. It's like a Black Ops. We just played Black Ops. Well, here's another one. I don't know. But the Pro is going to be the best place to play these games on console with the big ones. And if they get some exclusive 60 frame mode and GTA and a bundle, and it's a big Pro, which I think that's happening. I think the Pro is going to be like bundle like together with GTA. That is going to be a huge thing. And if there's some exclusive performance modes in that, it is over. It is done. Phil could pull as many ROG Ally box out his ass. And that's why I said it always confused me that Microsoft will be so aggressive with this when you have GTA 6 on the horizon. And that don't play GTA 6. That's unless they're trying to say, well, you could stream it to it. Oh man. That's a farce right there. Like, oh yeah, well, buy GTA, you could stream GTA 6 to it, to $1,000 handheld that's capable of playing it, but you got to stream to it because it's not on the Xbox.
Where that box is in the name of our brand.
Because of the PC. That's why I think it's the worst time for them to do this. Like, why would you release a PC handheld and put your name on it, Xbox, months before GTA 6 is going to be released? Or like on the right around finally GTA 6 is coming out. It is just idiotic. It just shows that they don't care. They are beaten to their own drum, and it's the stupid drum. It's just they're dumb. They're like the anti-Nintendo. Like Nintendo has their own drum, and they seem to have success with it. Microsoft is like the BOGO drum. Fill a drum head. Just do stupid things, and then say I'm learning. I'm angry at myself because I'm not clear. Well, whose problem is that? Use AI and fix it. But it just boggles my mind. It's like, yo, and the same year the Switch 2 came out. Oh my, really, Phil? Yeah, good luck. And Asus was doing this anyway, but Dopey over here showing a Sony game from last year, Meat Man and Ninja Gaiden. I showed the wrong tweet. What do you mean I showed the wrong tweet? Uh-oh. What do you mean? Where is it? He said I showed the wrong tweet. Which one? That was the one show. Wait, you sent me another one? Hold on. I didn't go through them. What did he say? What was the other one, Lucci? What was the other one you sent me? Where is this? Oh, and this one. Oh, the Cyberpunk one? Is that the one? Oh, this one. Is this the one? Jump the gun real fast. There's a bug in the Xbox patch. A pinned comment. Cyberpunk has received VRR support in the latest patch. The big winner is the Pro with an average of 80 frames with VRR performance mode. Ray tracing mode frame rate is locked at 40. PS5 Pro maintains it without any problems. The Series X does not unlock the frame rate due to a bug, leaving the frame rate at 30 and 60. Once again, the Xbox version received a fix and performance tests will be formed again. Once the Xbox... It's a video? Oh, yeah, it's this video. Okay, it's this video. Which one? Where's the video? I don't see a video. Oh, this one. Oh, this one here. Oh, it's not playing. It's a bug. Yes, I did. Will, I did get Donkey Kong. I'm playing it currently. I'm in I'm on level. I'm in the 500 level. It's good. I think it's really good. It looks great too. There's definitely some frame rate issues too, but yeah, it is good. Oh yeah, it's the VRR thing on Cyberpunk. Well, they're saying it's a bug. I got something for you right here. Here it is. Is this it? It's a bug. Is this the video? There you go. I'll give you a visual and the audio. There we go.
Bass is fucking raw shit. Raw. Raw chicken. It's raw. Fucking raw. They look raw. Raw, Carol. Fucking raw. Raw. Fuck off. And by the way, it's raw.
It's raw. Yeah. Par for the course. Par for the course. Whether it's a bug, whether it's a glitch, a glam, this man has been falling upward along with booty. Console players should feel as first class citizens. And this is the problem that they've always had. And the thing is that goes to show you that the console definitely requires separate development. That's why it still boggles my mind that their next console, how are they going to make unique hardware that needs special programming and optimization for, that's probably not going to sell and be worked for developers to develop for, lower than what they have? How are they going to get developers on board with that? They're not. By making this a PC, they don't have to worry about enticing developers. They don't have to worry about getting them to optimize their program, their certification, their performance. They don't need to do that. They just put it on Steam and they say, hey, you want to be part of our program? That's nice. And they just be lax and just do their software. They don't have to worry about optimization and getting devs on board and support and sales of hardware. They don't need to worry about that. But the problem is they leave the whole Xbox console games behind. And maybe a few come over, maybe about 100 or so, but there's thousands of games that just don't go with you, especially the 360 ones. And if it is a hybrid, and if you go and look, and this is another thing, Ryan, I look back, when they spoke about their next console in the leaks as being a hybrid, they were speaking about cloud and cloud and Windows. They were not speaking about operating systems. They were speaking about cloud. So I think cloud is going to be their answer. You're going to need to subscribe to access the games you once owned on their new PC Xbox. It is going to be function. But they were speaking about cloud. They weren't speaking about operating systems, a hybrid operating system. That's the glazes out there. It's going to be a hybrid. It makes no sense. Why would it boot up Xbox where you buy and pay for Xbox Live to play online and spend money in their store, and then you could then boot up in PC and get all that shit included and buy from Steam and Epic Store? That sounds like a very conflicting box. And what, sell it at subsidized because you may go to their store? And that's exactly what they're doing now, Ryan. You got to pay cloud $20 a month in order to play the games that you own. That's it. That's what's in currently beta right now. And that's what I posted because I wanted to be very clear that play the games you own requires a Game Pass subscription. And that's what I wrote. That was the point of it. Because that's what they're doing. You got to pay to subscribe. So until they come out with a subscription only service that's maybe $10 or something like that, it's still, you got to pay. You still got to pay. It says it right here. See? This is what their future is. And this is what he was saying. You got to be enrolled PC gaming preview, but then you got to be subscribed to Game Pass Ultimate. You could stream select console games. You want to see what they are? Look at this. Look at these gems look at these gems. Where are they? Where were the ones that they just added? And it's only in 28 countries where the Xbox Cloud Gaming Beta is supported. Stream your own game is a feature to Game Pass Ultimate members on Xbox One consoles, TVs, Meta Quest, and browser PC, tablets, and smartphones. Now on PC, you'll be able to stream the games. This feature includes console-only games. You see what I mean? This is what they're trying to do to pacify that. Just head to the cloud gaming section of the PC app, look for stream your own games, and choose support your own title. Well, you want to know what? For me specifically, I only have the Game Pass that came with my PC, and that is PC Game Pass, not Game Pass Ultimate. So let's see. So mine, see my account, I got PC Game Pass. I don't have Ultimate. So when I click on my library, cloud playable, 12 games. So I own, wait a second. Why did it decrease? Hold on. Oh, I got to unselect them. So there we go. I own 30 games. I own 30 games. These are the games that I own that came from my Xbox console library. If I say they're cloud playable, look at this. My 30 games go to 6. 6 games. So of my 30 owned games, we just keep losing more and more games as I get into where I could play my games. Do you see the caveat? And cloud playable, you got to be subscribed to Ultimate. You got to be subscribed to Ultimate in order to use this. So this is not free. So even if I bought Gears 4. I bought Gears 4. I bought Forza 3. It's owned. I bought it with my money. It's my game. I could play it here. But if I want to play it on the cloud, Forza 3 is not on the cloud. You see the caveats to this whole world. It is goddamn puzzle quest to figure out what you could play on. There's so many caveats because they're so fractured in their pivots. Are you a Game Pass subscriber? I am. I'm PC Game Pass. Oops, you can't do cloud gaming on that. So therefore I don't have it. Well, is it on Xbox Play Anywhere? No. Well, then I can't play it on PC if I bought it on console. Are you part of the cloud anyway? Are you part of own your own games? Well, is it part of the system? There's so many different caveats. There's so many filters that when you eventually filter it, look at this. So, of my owned 36 games, I click on owned. Of my 30 games, out of my 350 that I own on Xbox console, 30 of them work on PC for me. These are the Play Anywhere ones, right? 30. That's the program that has 1,000 games in it that's been available since 2017, Play Anywhere. Play Anywhere granted me 30 games out of my 350 that I have. Now, if I want to take my 30 games and go play them on a Samsung TV, because they may be cloud playable, there you go. 6. So, we'll see how this works. But there are so many filters. So many different things that they're going to need an encyclopedia to explain where and how to play your games. And it is, I can't believe there is no pushback, maybe because they're that irrelevant, from the gaming media on the messaging of this. Because they are being so disingenuous. It is blatantly false. Calling that an Xbox. Phil needs to sit down and get the hard questions. Where's Dusty been when you need him?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd have to go back and look at
This is the problem that they have. And people should be explaining about this rather than just saying everything is an Xbox. Thanks, Phil. Sounds like a great marketing plan. Not doing it. But there's my library. That's my situation. So on top of that, lying that this is an Xbox. This is an Xbox. Yeah. What did Phil say? What did he say? Play my library of games. 300. Play my library of games, he said. That's what he said to you. This is an Xbox for your library. And on the physical, forget about it. If you have a disc, that don't work. You can't plug a disc into the Xbox. You don't get a digital code from a disc game. So what happens if you have physical versions and they're saying this is an Xbox? Well, you can't play on this. And Xbox is not going to honor your purchases. They're not going to. And in order to access that cloud, you need to be the $20 a month, eventually maybe $25 a month subscriber. So pay, you got to subscribe to access the games you own on cloud devices. That's currently what it is. That's what this announcement is. And they're giving it to Xbox insiders with Game Pass Ultimate. So stream your own games. There you go. And if you look at the games they did, they had like Saints Row 2. Where's the list? Do they have the list? Oh, here are the games. 250 games they supported. Here they are. We went through them already. These are the stream your own games. Still in beta. Here you go. Can I filter by... Oh, purchased. Let's see. Oh, wait. No, I don't have purchased there. Stream the games you own. Here you go. Look at these bangers. 250 games. This is them. I'm strolling through them right now. Stream the games you own. We're already on F. There's a lot of games that are not on this list. A lot of games. And you need to subscribe and be an active subscriber to stream the games that you purchased. You bought Kingdom Come Deliverance. You bought Kingdom Come 2 for $60, $70. Well, pay $20 a month to stream it. You bought it. It's not in Game Pass, but if you want to play this, and you talk about 250 games, right? Well, look, Kingdom Come Deliverance Gold Edition. A lot of duplicates, right? Well, it is. Just Cause 4. It's in here 4 times. Just Cause 4. Just Cause 4 Complete. Just Cause 4 Gold. Just Cause 4 Reloaded. They're 4 Just Cause. Is that adding to the 250? Phil, Kill It With Fire's in here twice. They're counting the other editions. Incredible, right? When you have 250 games and you see games in here 2 and 3 times, yeah, I don't think it's 250 games. And you got to pay for this. Life is Strange in here. Look how many times. 250 games we got. I see 1 game. I see 2 games here. Why is it 8? This is the PHILNESS. And instead of the media and influences and people going in and showing exactly what this program is and how it may be beneficial, how there may be some concerns, everybody just glazes over it. Like, oh, well, Phil says he's doing it. And nobody even goes in to see. And I'm showing you the filters. I'm showing you the actual games to educate you, to show you as a consumer the reality of what you're going to pay for, what you need to pay for, what costs money, what it is. Because that's the only thing I could do with the power of my channel and my subscribers and the grinders in here. I can only show you exactly what we get as customers. I'm not glazed for this bullshit. I'll show you exactly what they offer. I scroll down the PlayStation one, show you what's in there. This is what they're doing in here. These are the own games. Games you own. This is it. We got Paw Patrol in there twice. Everybody got special editions. Look at Planet Zoo. Planet Zoo's in there 3 times. Predator in there 3 times. Dude, I think this got to be less than, there got to be like 125 maybe if you take out these duplicates. Maybe 100. This is some PHILNESS shit right here. Yeah, they just added a Saints Row 2 360. They finally got a 360 game in there. Is that the only 360 game they got in there? That's it. That's it. But these are the games that you have to subscribe to Game Pass in order to stream if you own them already. They're padding the list so they can say this. Over 250 supported games. That's why they're padding the list. This is the list. And they're like, hey, we told you to click here to see what the list is. There's the list. Done. There you go. That's it. You got Warhammer in here 3 times. But in order, if you own these games, you need to subscribe to Game Pass in order to stream them. There you go. And that is the reality of the PHILNESS and what grinds my gears. So grinders, hit that like button. Thank you again for the VIPs. Enjoy the content. Keep it locked here for the Gaming Grindhouse, and we'll probably on Monday night at 8 p.m. Hit that like, and there may be a Gaming Grind either tonight or tomorrow with possibly Ready or Not. So have a good week gaming, everybody. I'll talk to you guys on Monday or on the Gaming Grind tonight or tomorrow. We'll see if we get some time to do it. So just keep it subscribed here, and you'll see when I go live. Hit that notification. Without further ado, there you go, grinders. Here's a little bit of song for you. Thank you again. Hit that like. Where's my DJ Phil? DJ Phil, get in here.
In my hand, oh, what a show. Price tag higher than the moon's glow. Call it what you want, but you know it's mine. It's a PC, it's a box, it's a techie design. Swipe that card, take the leap. Thousands dial deep. They can clown, they can hate, but it's still great. Xbox tramp stamp, oh, it's on the go. Now it's a PC, yeah, they changed the flow. Call it what you want, it's still my jam. Xbox tramp stamp, Xbox glam. They said it's just a game, now it's a trend. Techies twisting names, will it ever end? And portable, sleek, fits in my hand. This Xbox, baby, it's my new brand. Swipe that card, take the leap. Thousands out too deep. They can clown, they can hate, but it's still great. Xbox tramp stamp, oh, it's on the go. Now it's a PC, yeah, they changed the flow. Call it what you want, it's still my jam. Xbox tramp stamp, Xbox glam.
This game